Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey, it's Heather Hope again. Welcome back, guys. I do believe today is Saturday. I'm recording this a couple days in advance, but September 12th. I hope you had a really great September 11th. We were talking about looking at signs or seeing signs, and especially numbers. And I say that right now, and it's 3:33. Awesome. But I'm looking at all of the recordings from the past week, and September 11th was 22:22. That's how many minutes and seconds that recording was. Anyway, signs everywhere. Okay, so welcome back. If you are new here, hi, my name is Heather Hope, and I am a law of attraction business coach. What else? I just got lost. Law of attraction business coach, mentor, teacher, inspirational writer, and speaker. So what I have done is I found this gap in people who are really into law of attraction and who also have businesses, or who own a business, who run a business. And I see the gap. I saw the gap. I still do, but I saw the gap of where a lot of people just don't know how to think about their business in regards to law of attraction. Let me know in the comment section below if that is if you notice that about yourself. It's just so common. I see it all the time with everything, but in business in particular, business has always been a huge thing for me. Coming from an entrepreneurial family, I have always been fascinated with businesses and how to improve business and that sort of thing. So here we are, law of attraction in business. Okay, so today, 2 days, I have to run to the store after I record today. So, oh boy, let's see. Today is September 12th, and it's really short and sweet. It may actually be short and sweet today. It is our quote of the day. If you don't know what I'm even talking about, this podcast, the daily recordings, the daily episodes are coming directly from my book. So I've written a book. It's almost completed, and it's a daily kind of advice, inspirational type of thing for entrepreneurs. And so much of this writing came from my Facebook page, because I realized one day, it hit me, that I had written a book. This is actually my 9th book that I've written and published, but it's a very different subject. We're really into law of attraction and business, and I wanted to write something, publish something, actually have it on your desk, in your hands, type of book, where you can flip to it each day and see what the message is. And then on top of that, because I can write really short, but I can speak really long. Does that make sense? Does that even make sense? I like to write short posts. I'm not this novelist that likes to write these where on Facebook, where if you click on it, it says continue reading. Oh no. It's like, it is the most rarest thing to find that on my page. Like it may have happened once in the last 2 years. But I'm not one of those people, because I hate it on the computer where it opens up a new screen to read the whole novel. A lot of coaches do this. No shade. God, I hate saying that to anybody who does do that, but I don't. I don't personally like reading those posts because it's a lot of fluff, and I'm not a fluffy person. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm not a fluffy person. Okay. But I'm just not that person. I like to write concisely. I am very particular about my words. I've used a lot of weird ones today, but I'm very particular. I like to know the meaning of words. I like to use them correctly. I like to get to the point because people are busy, especially entrepreneurs. You guys are busy. I mean, I'm not so busy, but typically you guys are busy. So I don't like to waste anybody's time. So today is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words. That's the sentence. Be more of who you were born to be. That's today. Be more of who you were born to be. We talked about this week about that you came here, like you wanted to be in physical form. You, whoever you are who's listening, you wanted to come forth from non-physical energy and you wanted to play. You're like, get me in there. I want to get into this physical world and I want to do more and I want to create and I want to like expand and play with people and things and pets and whatever it is. That's what you wanted. So that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So you're here. You're here because you wanted to be here. So now be more of who you were born to be. Who are you? What is it that you came here for? Now, you may not know because we don't really necessarily know. Sometimes we kind of like, oh, I was totally born to do this. I have this passion. I was so meant to do this. And so often it's just we find these things that we like to do. Like I love to write. Now I just said I write short things, but I really like writing short things. I like writing this book. I was just telling my I do a Q&A coaching call twice a month for my academy, my Soul Aligned Business Academy. And I was just talking to them yesterday about writing this particular book. I have never been more happy in my professional life. I was in the zone. I was just one with source, and it feels amazing. And I don't know how often that I have felt that in my life. I really don't. Having been a therapist in the past and going through that entire career, working towards that for, working in that career and towards that career for 20 years, I had moments. I loved what I was doing, but I never felt this before. So writing this book is what I want to do more of. I was a full-time coach, online for the past 6 years, and previously being a therapist. So I've been helping people for 20 to 25 years, like clinically and in person and one-on-one. But for me, it is more satisfying to create. So, and then I learned from Abraham that we're creators. We love to create. I love to create. I'm an introvert. I like to create. I like to do things on my own. And, coming from 20 plus years of working directly with people, I find that I like that occasionally, but I really, really prefer the isolative things of writing and recording a podcast, being able to speak, and creating this evergreen content, which I am a huge supporter of creating things that people will find for a long, long time. Now, Facebook posts just doesn't do it for me. I was feeling that way when I have my Facebook group, and I was posting everything in my Facebook group. I had a super engaged Facebook group that was growing, up to 50 people a day. And that's where all my content was. And I was getting clients from that, all of that, but I just felt this like limitation. And it dawned on me, I'm like, because my own clients tell me, and people from that group, they're like, I check your group. I check every day to see what you write, to see what you wrote that day. And I'm like, oh, how interesting. Like they actually come to my page or come to my group to see what I wrote, because I was writing a lot. I have days that I write a lot. And so I'm like, well, how about I just put everything I write also on my Facebook page? And they're like, cool. Everybody I spoke to was like, yeah, cool. And then they could just check into my page every day. And that's what they do. And so, tomorrow's episode, which I'm going to record in a minute, is probably going to be a little bit of a rant, just just a heads up. But it's going to be on this particular subject of like, who are you listening to when it comes to business mindset? Because what I hear a lot constantly is, oh, Facebook business pages are dead. Don't even bother, blah, blah, blah. You have to run ads, blah, blah, blah. So, and I disagree. 100% I disagree. Because when I started posting my posts, my writing on Facebook, or on my Facebook page, I was attracting more and more engagement on my page. Now, of course, that's my Heather Hope Law of Attraction Business Coach page. Of course, I have the Millionaire Manifestor page, which has grown, really a lot. And that's all like graphics, like quotes and stuff. But my writing is all on my page, Heather Hope. But wherever you put your energy and focus and your attention, that's what will grow. And having at least a soft belief that that's the right thing for you. So if you're listening to people, this is going to be tomorrow's episode. If you're listening to people saying it's dead because they believe it's dead because they have a dead page, they believe they have a dead page, and then they start believing that they have a dead page. And then they listen to other people that say they have a dead page and blah, blah, blah. And then they spread the word to everybody that Facebook business pages are dead. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Have you seen my pages? Because I used to, I would watch the analytics every so often. I don't care anymore. I literally have put myself in a bubble and I don't care. Because I don't want to compare myself to others anymore. But I would compare my page to my coach at the time and some other bigger names in Law of Attraction. And my page was blowing majority of their pages out of the water. And my page was a lot smaller. And so I'm like, really? You guys are silly. So anyway, tune in for tomorrow's episode. That's going to be really fun. But we're here today. Be more of who you were born to be. So it's kind of like a follow-up of the other day of, you came here. You wanted to be here so badly. So what are you going to do? So this could be another pep talk of, who are you? What do you want to do in your life? Like, I don't want you to ever think that life is boring and monotonous and, the thoughts. I don't know about you guys, but having those thoughts of, God, why am I here? This is boring. And I never get to do anything I want to do. And what's the purpose? What's the point? All that, because that can definitely happen. I've had days like that. But then now I remind myself all the time, I get to choose what my life is about. I get to decide what I want to do. And Abraham Hicks tells us that we really need to make more decisions daily, like have a focus, like put our focus on things that we want. Because so often we're creating by default. That's what majority of humans are doing, creating by default, by just seeing what's around them and just creating more of that. Instead, you have to focus on, what is it that I want? Ask yourself the question of, what is it that I want? And then when you have the answer, big or small, whatever, okay, that's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I'm going to line up with. This month in my academy, we were talking about lining up with your desires, aligning with them, and how the heck to do that. Next week's training in our academy is going to be about how to get out of a funk. I had a couple people that were in a funk this past week and trying to get out of this funk, because with Law of Attraction, you have a thought for 17 seconds, it creates another thought like it. And it just doesn't take a whole lot of time to end up in a funk if that's where your thoughts are headed. Makes sense, right? It's so easy to see now the momentum of thought. So, but when you're down there, we were talking about this yesterday, when you're down there in that funk, it's like quicksand. And when you're there, it is kind of difficult to get out. So, of course, the key is to not get there, but we're human and things happen. And our thoughts, we have weak moments of thoughts. We all do. Every one of us has a weak moment of a thought. That's all it is. Nothing to beat ourselves up over, nothing to create a lot of drama around. It's just how it is. So be more of who you were born to be. Who is that? Like what what do you want to see in your life? What do you want to see in your business? Like really be honest with yourself too. We've talked a lot about that lately, about creating the business that really suits the lifestyle that you want. Because what I've learned from personal experience with many things is, and I had to dig into this to figure this out, but some things don't manifest because they conflict with other desires. Like we think we want this thing over here, say a house. It's happened a couple times with a house, even though I'm really good about manifesting homes. Well, manifesting homes, just period, and great places to live and all that. But sometimes a particular house doesn't come through. And it's like, well, then it's not the right house. So, yeah, I mean, it's just so much better to not focus specifically on one particular thing when you really don't know the behind the scenes of that house, a house, for instance, or a person. I mean, it's all the same. If you have one particular person that you want to be with, but let's say you've never been with them before. Let's say it's a brand new person that you just met and you're like, oh my God, this is the person I want. I want to manifest a specific person. I want to manifest a specific house. But you really don't know. You really don't know that person that well. You really don't know that house that well. What if you got into that house and something bad? That sounds bad. But what if there's something about that house? And that is the reason why you don't manifest it, because your higher self, the self of you that has the bigger perspective on this, who knows that house better than you, is like, girl, you don't want that house. I'm telling you, you don't want that house. You don't want it. Because you know what will happen if you get that, whatever it is, right? It could be a leak that the inspector didn't find or whatever it is. So don't get down. Don't get down if you don't manifest a particular house or a particular person, because you really don't know that person and how they really will treat you. You may not be a vibrational match to that person or that house or that job or whatever it is. So the best advice is to not get really hung up on one specific thing. Because one, you might be totally limiting yourself if you did get it, or you don't get it because you can't see where that was going to lead. Get it? Okay. So be more of who you were born to be. Who is that person? Who can you, like, creating that identity? I think we did that last month in our academy. Did we? Yeah, last month, creating your identity. Creating your identity. And who is that person? Who are you stepping into? Who do you want to be more of? Yeah, we did a whole lesson on that. Who do you want to be more of? Like, instead of, one example that I shared a lot was, if say you're a shy person and you keep telling people, I'm shy. Oh, I can't do that. I'm shy. I wish I could do that, but I'm shy. But you want to do all these things and you don't want to be that shy person. You know what you do? You create an identity of a person who's not shy. Because every moment's a brand new moment. So you can choose to be a more outgoing person. See how that feels? Like, instead of saying, I can't do that, I'm a shy person. Or, you know what? Today I'm choosing to be more outgoing. Doesn't that feel more empowering? That's all you have to do. You have to kind of let go of what you've been saying and pivot, move, turn to who you really want to be. I used to be a deathly shy person, deathly shy. So shy, guys. I would sit in the back of the classroom, never speak a word, never raise my hand. It would be like life or death if I had to. Never, ever. And then I was like that forever, for a long, long time until I became a therapist and I did group therapy. It was the first job I got and it was the best job. I did it for 10 years. I did group therapy for, people with serious mental illness, schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, anxiety, all that stuff. And so I did group therapy. You know what a group therapist has to do? Talk in front of a group all day, every day. Talk in front of a group of people, of like humans, like actually sitting there in person, quiet as can be most of the time. And I had to talk. I'm like, what the hell did I just do? Why did I take this job? What is this about? And so after a while, I had to be really comfortable, especially for many, many years, I worked with schizophrenics, which now don't even talk to me about the subject because like I have a lot of other, I listened to Abraham a lot about this and it's like the things that I heard from my clients back then totally make sense now. Totally makes sense. So with source and all that lovely stuff, visions and hearing things and all that stuff, that's pretty normal. It's really sad. It's really, anyway, let's not go down that road. But they're very quiet people who, are in group programs who are, labeled schizophrenic, very quiet. So guess what Shy Heather had to do? Shy Heather had to become a new person. And I taught a lot. So I taught a lot in small groups. I had 3 or 4 groups every day. I was full time, majority of those years. So I talked a lot. I spoke a lot. I created a lot of worksheets. I was creating a lot of material to help them. But anyway, I had to become a different person. Otherwise, I would have been miserable and I would have quit. And it was the best job I ever had. That particular job, I had a ton of freedom. I could come and go whenever I wanted to. It was such a great job. So, and I worked with amazing people, clients, that is. And so anyway, you get to choose who you get to be, period. Get rid of any of the labels that you grew up with. If you don't like them, get rid of them. If you like them, keep them. So pay attention as we move forward of the things that you call yourself or say to other people, or especially strangers. We do this all the time. I still do every so often something where I'll say something to someone. I'm like, why did I say that? I'm just reaffirming it. So pay attention to the labels you put on yourself. I see it all the time. I can barely scroll Facebook because I see things people are constantly labeling themselves and others. So you got to get off that. So, okay. So I'm going to run because I really want to jump into the next subject. Catch me tomorrow for September 13th. I hope I got these dates right. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye-bye.